Hey guys, it's Ping with Vital MX, and we're here for another race shop project. Stoked for this one. Met this guy, Mr. TJ Boyle, online, and this is your 2006 Yamaha YZ325, and it came out incredible. Tell me a little bit about how you found this thing and what you did to it.
So it was kind of like a summer project. I was looking for a two-stroke, found it on Craigslist, went, looked at it. It had a big bore kit in it, a bunch of random painted stuff. But I was like, okay, well, you know, it's a decent price. Picked it up, started to tear it down, just kind of give it a once over before I went and rode it. And the further I tore it down, the more things wrong with it I found. Cross-threaded bolts, broken or missing bolts. Started to really look at the engine that was supposed to have only 5 hours on it. Every bearing in it was trash. So I decided to just completely strip the thing down to the frame, start over, and as you can tell, it kind of got a little out of hand.
It got away from you a little.
Yep.
Well, I can't apologize to you enough for the money you spent, but it looks incredible. The sheer look of this thing, when I saw it, you asked if I wanted to test it. I couldn't say hell yes fast enough. You know, it's got the R-Tech updated plastic kit, gut seat, which has got the cool little side nubs here that make it really interesting, like a cool way to grab on. Pro Taper products up there, Renthal chain and sprocket. In the motor, tell me a little bit about what you did there. So it's the 325 drop-in cylinder, right?
Yeah, it's got the ESR 325, they call it the CEO kit. Bottom end, just a Wiseco replacement crank. It does have the GYTR heavy flywheel and complete billet, clutch basket, pressure plate, and hub, and everything like that. Went with the Boyle rad valve kit for it. Other than that, it's stock gearing and everything inside of it.
Okay, so wheel set from W, I assume. Yep. Talon hubs, beautiful champagne color with black spokes and blue rims. Just looks really nice. You anodized everything. Yeah. Which is amazing. I haven't seen a lot of cylinders anodized this color. The cases, the swing arm, the frame even is a beautiful sparkly blue. I don't know what they called it, but
I don't remember the exact name of the color, but it's a chrome base powder coat with this translucent metallic blue over top of it.
It's really pretty. Arc levers, which is cool. You got a Vortex ignition, which I've always found on these big bore projects, if you don't address the ignition and get it to rev a little longer, you'll gain a bunch of torque, a bunch of bottom, and it will go flat. So that's, if you're gonna go big bore, you need to look at an ignition, which you did an awesome job there. Really trick Bill's pipe and silencer on this. I love it when he does these welds and makes it look cone pipe. Bill does great stuff over there. And tell me a little bit about the suspension, because I thought this was kit stuff.
No, it's actually the stock 06 suspension. Got with my friend over at Ride JBI, JB, and he just went through everything on it. We DLC coated the shock shaft and the lower fork tubes, Kashima coated the body and the upper fork tubes, and he went and put his pro perches, the billet mid valves, I think they're called, revalved everything, and just went through everything, and it came out, and it looks like kit suspension.
That's what I said. Some X-Trig clamps on it. You got Dunlop tires to finish it. There's really nothing on this bike that isn't touched. And you said even the bolts, nuts and bolts, you spent a small fortune just on those.
Yeah, just going trying to find the OEM nuts and bolts for everything that I could, and then titanium stuff where I couldn't. Like it's got JBI's titanium bolts on all the triple clamps, the front brake caliper, titanium chain adjuster bolts. It was just trying, none of the bolts that were in this bike were the right bolts for anything.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Glamis special. You showed me some photos and you know, some red, white, and blue.
Yep.
Something you definitely see out with the bros at Glamis. Looking at it aesthetically, it's absolutely stunning. Probably one of the best looking builds I've seen in a long time. So kudos for that.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So on the track, I was really excited to get on this thing and see. I have never ridden a 325 kit in one of these, although there is a guy in the Vital forum who talks about it nonstop. So hopefully he will watch this and be really happy. Immediately you feel like kind of a big bore sound to it when we started it. Just kind of that ring ting ting of a 500 or something, you know, big bore feel. But on the track, it doesn't have a heavy or sluggish feel. It's great throttle response and a really good steady pull. There is two different maps. One's a little more aggressive, one's a little more mellow, kind of spread out. I ended up on the more aggressive map and liked it. With that flywheel weight that I think that you put in, I think that helped a lot with kind of delivering that power a little more manageably. Because it doesn't ever hit so hard it pops out of your hands. It comes on and it goes hard. And crazy pull through the middle, and then the top it holds. It doesn't drop off. I think that's largely due to the ignition. So a really fun power plant. And I found I could go through turns in third with this thing if I wanted, and just it would still pick it up, which leads me to believe you could even play with gearing here, drop down a tooth if you wanted to. And this is just C12 VP fuel. You know, you could go more aggressive with fuel and get more power out of it if you wanted. But great feel to it, you know, and no, you know, hesitation. If I had to come up to a jump and just crack the throttle real quick, the thing jumped, you know, perfect. So a little bit of jetting. We had to kind of lean out something in the middle, and we got that pretty clean at the end of the day. You know, it's a different feel. It's like, I want to say, a little slower building and stronger pulling than what you would get out of a 250, where you'd probably have to short shift it. Even a built 250 probably comes on a little quicker and more aggressively, and you have to short shift it, where this kind of builds a little slower or takes longer to build, even though it's still making a ton of power, and you can run taller gears. So that was kind of the difference that I got from a good 250 engine to this 325. The sound of this thing, that Boyle silencer, is super crispy. It definitely puts a smile on your face. As far as controls and the comfort of it, this R-Tech stuff is really, really comfortable. It actually felt a lot like a 22, a little kind of racy feeling. And you know, this just as far as the ergonomics of it, good bars and grips, good pegs. I didn't have any issues with any of that stuff. All the controls are great. Brakes worked really well. And then the suspension, we didn't have a lot of bumps. If you've been to Elsinore, you know it doesn't get super rough and choppy, but there's some big jumps out there. The JBI stuff, which we've worked with JB before on multiple builds, and he always does an awesome job. And we always start kind of firm to make sure that we're there for safety, because it's a lot easier to turn clickers open and get that comfort than it is to have it be too soft and try to fix that. So I actually didn't even touch it today. With these big jumps and real sticky, kind of little shallow ruts, we set sag at 105 and ran it, and it was awesome. Super, super good hold up. It would still settle into ruts nice. No complaints about the suspension whatsoever. Man, I can't thank you enough for letting us take a turn on this thing before you have even gotten to ride it. I sure just, having built bikes myself, you know, doing that, I can appreciate how much time and effort and love goes into this. And for me, I don't know if it's the same for you, but the day before I go to ride it, I'm like, man, I don't want to get this thing all muddy and scratched up. Look how pretty it is. So yeah. Thank you for letting us do that.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking it out.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned. We've got a lot more builds coming, and thank you to TJ Boyle here for letting us have a ride on his beautiful Yamaha 325. We'll see you on the next one.